It's Two Dudes with Attitudes of Wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our AEW weekly edition. If you ain't subscribing, if you ain't following, if you ain't 5-star, and if you're not leaving comments, do that right now. We want the love. We need the love. We want to be bigger than what we already are. And we are excited to talk all things Collision, Dynamite, and the road to Revolution, to which your Two Dudes will be there live. As always, Ryan, let's go.
Let's do it.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. With Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Welcome to Two Dudes with Attitudes, and you heard that correct. The two dudes are going to be at Crypto.com Arena. Well, we are going to be at AEW Revolution Live. So look out for all that. We're going to have live takes, the content, the TikToks we're going to do. And I'm taking my boy around. I'm going to show him what a real Disney theme park is. Not no Disney World crap. We taking Disneyland, California Adventure. I'm going to tour him around. Me, Ryan, my girl. It's going to be the new Three's Company. It's going to be a great time. But, you know, Ryan, we got to stay on pace, right? So let's talk about that AEW because it was actually a fun week. Some things happened, and that card got stacked this week, my man. We'll talk about that. But before you get into it, I heard you have some news, and some news that I haven't even heard. You're going to tell it right now. You're going to surprise me. But when we have news, you know it's time for Two Dudes Read the News. What you got for us?
That's right, man. So we have Ryan Nemeth. This broke last Saturday, I think, right after we went off the air, as always, but last Friday or Saturday. But Ryan Nemeth is officially suing AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk. And he's alleging assault, and he's alleging blackballing from AEW. And this Ryan Nemeth is the brother of Dolph Ziggler, former WWE superstar Dolph Ziggler. He was in AEW for a little while, but he is suing. It alleges assault, breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith, and fair dealing and intentional interference with prospective advantage. And there's a bunch of excerpts that were given to Fightful Select, which is Sean Ross Sapp's website. But this is all comes directly from the lawsuit itself. But Tony Khan is depicted as the so-called money mark some wrestling fans and pundits have made him out to be. His allegations that he had a deep connection to Punk and Punk's importance to AEW's business at that time prevented Khan from taking meaningful action in response to Punk's alleged misconduct. So the opening of the lawsuit is actually pretty funny. So it says Ryan Nemeth is a successful actor and comedian and stuntman.
That is funny.
Yeah, that's like, we can laugh right there at that. And then it says that Nemeth also followed his older brother Nick's career and established himself as a star performer on the professional wrestling circuit. Nemeth was under contract with AEW. AEW is owned by Shahid and Tony Khan. Shahid Khan is the owner of the NFL franchise Jacksonville Jaguars. His son Tony managed to alienate most everyone within the Jaguars organization, including NFL star players. Tony was moved to a leadership role within the Khan family-owned Fulham Football Club. Tony ended up mismanaging Fulham, leading to multiple lawsuits against the club. And since he was a child, Tony Khan, this is all from this lawsuit directly. Tony Khan loved professional wrestling and had an obsession with certain wrestlers. The Khan family formed AEW to provide Tony with something to do safely away from the family's other ventures. Tony serves as AEW's chief executive officer. Phil Brooks was another wrestler under contract with AEW and a member of the AEW management team. Tony had a deep fascination with Brooks. Brooks undertook a campaign to terrorize and intimidate the plaintiff, which is Ryan Nemeth, including physical assault. AEW and Tony Khan did nothing to prevent Ryan Nemeth and other wrestling performers from despicable conduct on the part of Brooks. AEW turned a blind eye to Brooks's conduct because of Tony's deep admiration for Brooks, because he was their most popular wrestling performer. At Brooks and Tony's insistence, AEW and Tony Khan have undertaken an effort to blackball Nemeth so he can never work again in the wrestling business. He's with TNA.
Okay, yeah.
So he's not blackballed.
I'm so confused. What is happening? Was CM Punk fired due to what he did in that Rumble?
Yes.
So didn't they take? Yes. And what does gossip and rumors about the Jacksonville Jaguars and how he owns AEW has to do with him being assaulted or black? What is happening?
Because
is this being made fun of online, or is this like, are people taking this seriously?
No, people are like, for once, people are actually standing with AEW and Tony Khan, like saying that this lawsuit's a complete and utter joke, and that any lawyer or judge reading this is just going to immediately throw it out because some of this stuff isn't in there. It's just completely inaccurate. So, for example, one of the things that it says is in early 2023, Brooks assaulted and battered two fellow wrestlers known by the stage names Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks. Brooks is known to have an uncontrollable temper and often lashes out in violent tirades against others. Thus, defendants were on notice regarding Brooks's violent proclivities. I'm trying to figure out where this has to do with him.
Is he talking about the fight with the dog that they're not even allowed to talk about due to everything? So he's throwing in something that can't even be investigated.
So during his suspension, this is CM Punk's suspension after that fight, for unknown reasons, Brooks made it known that he despised Nemeth. Nemeth did nothing to Brooks whatsoever, but Brooks made it well known that he was angry with Nemeth. Brooks had a notorious history for taking violent action against others for no reason. On April 16, 2023, Nemeth contacted executives within AEW to tell his employer that he was worried Brooks would come back to the wrestling circuit following his suspension and assault Nemeth. On June 21st, 2023, following Brooks's return to the wrestling circuit, he assaulted Nemeth in the male locker room. In a menacing manner, Brooks shouted at Nemeth, "Do we have an effing problem? Do we need to step outside and handle this like men?" Nemeth was cornered by Brooks and did everything he could in order to de-escalate the situation. The next day, Nemeth was contacted by Tony Schiavone and other executives from AEW to explain what happened. Nemeth calmly and factually explained that he was attacked by Brooks in the locker room. And following the assault, nothing happened to Brooks as far as punishment from AEW. Then he goes on to talking about benching a wrestler, which is what he's accusing AEW of doing. In following the incident with Brooks, he was feared that he was going to be benched by AEW. Nemeth spoke with AEW's in-house counsel and attorneys, and Nemeth was not booked for a match for over 2 months after this whole thing. After that conversation with Tony Schiavone, this whole thing is just a complete and utter joke. How
many matches was he booked for before that? This is stupid.
I don't remember. It's pretty funny. And then on November 18th, 2024, Nemeth wrestled for the last time in AEW. 2024. CM Punk returned to WWE in 2023.
I was gonna say. Oh my god! Some of these line items that he has in this lawsuit, it's like complete digs at Tony Khan. Khan was heartbroken by the departure of Brooks, his idol that he adored in every way. Khan was furious with Nemeth. Khan believes that Brooks left AEW because of Nemeth. Yeah, you read that right. Ryan Nemeth is accusing Tony Khan because that CM Punk left because of Ryan Nemeth, not because of fighting Jack Perry, not because of fighting the Young Bucks, not because of all the stuff going on backstage. But once again, he fired him. I'm so confused because he feared for his life. Did you not remember? All right, let's not talk to this. Is stupid. But this is going to ruin him and his brother's chances in TNA to probably go up with NXT and other things. Like, what are you? Because
there might be a
loves
reason
CM Punk. Yeah.
there might be a reason that Dolph Ziggler hasn't been
Yep.
on TNA TV with the
What
NXT
a
partnership.
moron. What is he hoping for? $500,000 or something? And he might get that. Tony Khan might be like, here you go, shut up and get away. This is what and it's not even California, because that's what California is all about. People sue to sue, like all the time, just because most people will just, they have an amount that they're willing to just say, here you go, and they'll throw it at them, and then they get it and move on with their lives. It's so pathetic. Like,
I think this might be out of California, because I think he's from California.
So that's what he's. Mm-hmm.
So
hoping for that quick fix. Yeah. Stupid.
So I don't know. I hope that, I mean, if CM Punk and Tony Khan, if this does go to trial, which it won't, but if it does, I hope that this at least allows CM Punk and Tony Khan to kind of bury the hatchet a little bit and let bygones be bygones and kind of move on from everything. And, you know, that way Punk doesn't harbor any resentment towards AEW and Tony Khan doesn't harbor any resentment towards CM Punk, and all parties can move on. But this lawsuit's a complete joke.
Yeah, it 100% is. And I feel like that's sort of dying out. Other than the morons on TikTok, like Tony Khan doesn't really talk about WWE. I think we've moved on past this now. We got to stop trying to be something. I don't know about Meltzer because I don't listen to him. But all right, well, at least that was fun news, huh? And other news, in other news, Matthew Stafford is still with the Rams, baby. Yeah, that's right.
For now, until they get Aaron Rodgers.
No, they re-signed him. They probably saw Aaron Rodgers throw 2 passes, and McVay was like, yeah, no thanks. I don't got the time for that shit. All right, let's get into it. It's Collision time, and this was a jam mother effing packed episode of Collision. It had a lot of big hitters, and it opened up with the return of the most beautiful, my future girlfriend, Mariah May, taking out Toni Storm, laying her out, and cutting a very eerie promo. But nonetheless, they are wrestling for the title. I think it's going to be the end of whatever it's going to be at Revolution, baby. Well, we're going to be there. What'd you think about this? Too quick? Good timing? Dig it? Liked it? Do you like how she delivered it? Let me hear it.
I liked everything about this whole promo. I thought it was a good way to open Collision, because normally Collision, it's very formulaic in how it opens. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing every single week. They show all the wrestlers walking into the building. They show people stretching. They show people texting. They show, and they did. That was no different this time.
They did.
And then then they showed Toni Storm, which they'd never shown Toni Storm walking in before. And and then Mariah May just came out of the blue and took her out, and then cut a very, very good promo. And you know, I do feel like the match is a little soon. I feel like it's, you know, she just lost the title at Grand Slam 2 weeks ago, and now she's wrestling at Revolution. But it is a Hollywood. It's a Hollywood ending, which is what she said she's going to give her. So I'm all for it. I just have a feeling that Toni Storm's retaining this belt because she wouldn't have lost it otherwise. So that's my only concern. But because I wish that Mariah May would have retained at Grand Slam if they were going to do this rematch at
for sure. But here's the thing. She's 100% retaining. It's in Hollywood, baby. And nothing's more Hollywood than timeless Toni Storm.
Of course.
So, of course, she's going to do that. And we'll be there to witness it.
I know. I can't wait.
It's going to be me, you, and my girl. And I'm probably going to push her to the side to go run over and jump over the railings to leave with Mariah May. So should be a fun time for you and me, because I'll be rocking that 2 dudes shirt. But yes, so I liked everything about it too. And I liked it because they also gave us the surprise of, hey, it's not just people walking on their cell phones and checking their Twitters and so on. People can get jumped during these openings. So it does give us the okay, could this happen? The belief that maybe something exciting can happen in this boring thing where most people probably forward through if they're not watching it live. And she did what she did best. Mariah May with those eerie promos. Oh God, they are so eerie. I love them. They're just so well done. And just her holding after giving her, what is it called? The Storm Zero or whatever and it looked hard too on the ground. It's just such a devastating looking move. I loved it all. Here's my thing. If Mariah May loses, I'm telling you, Texas, she needs to beat Mercedes Moné for the TBS championship. Mariah May cannot walk around like Britt Baker did afterwards and have no title when she's your biggest star. Mariah May is bigger than Toni Storm. She's a bigger star. She's bigger than Mercedes Moné. She needs to take that. Mercedes Moné is literally doing nothing right now other than boring up the screen. Let Mariah May take it from her. I don't care if it turns her babyface, but she needs the TBS champion and having Toni Storm and Mariah May as your two female champions, game over. That's good shit right there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And they need to do something. I do think, I mean, obviously this feud's ending at Revolution. And but yeah, like you said, Mariah May, she's so good at those eerie promos. It's funny too. It's like Toni Storm loses and she becomes unhinged. And now Mariah May loses and she becomes completely unhinged. So it's like they constantly are, taking each other's character and gimmick and taking it to a whole new level. And I love it. It's all good stuff. It's fantastic. Probably the best. This might be the best rivalry in the history of AEW. I'll say that.
I think it is. I truly do. And there's been some good ones. I really think it is. Well, let's talk about a female that you do enjoy, but you didn't enjoy Collision. Let's hear it. Harley Cameron promo. You weren't vibing with it.
Yeah.
Let's hear why. Explain.
It's a pet peeve of mine when a wrestler goes for a title, comes so close to winning it, so close, and then they cut a promo on the following show and they're completely joking around. And this happens in WWE all the time. This happens in AEW quite a bit. But she cut that promo about how it was my next door neighbor Suzette's dream to all that stuff, like she wanted to become a wrestler and she was good at the ventriloquism and she was great at singing. But I took that dream when I don't know what happened to her, but I took that dream and I ran with it. It was a great promo. Don't get me wrong. It was good stuff. And I love Harley Cameron. I just wish it was a little bit more serious because she was so close to winning that TBS championship. And then she kind of goes off the deep end with like, I want everybody to feel the wrath, and starts like slamming everything down. It just kind of came across a little too silly for me when it was supposed to be something serious. I mean, imagine Mariah May coming out after losing the women's championship to Toni Storm and cutting a very joking promo like, LOL. It's like when Kofi lost to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds with the WWE championship. And then the very next week, he's doing the New Day Rocks, Day Rock, and playing the trombone. I don't know. I just feel like it should have been a little bit more serious. I love Harley Cameron. She's AEW's best thing going right now in the female division. But and Dynamite, she made up for it with that match with Deonna Purrazzo. But I just wish that this promo was this was the first time we had seen her since Grand Slam. And I just wish it was just a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I do worry that her not serious character will hurt her in the long run. Like, she's a vibe right now and she's doing her thing, but I wonder if fans will eventually be like, all right, we get it. You're a joke, but you're not winning and you're not. Because if you're going to be a comedy act, even like R-Truth, man, like he's a national treasure. And I even hear people now like, why is R-Truth still wrestling on our TV screen? Like people will turn against you when your character is a joke per se. I mean, she delivered it well, like you said. I don't think she got the reaction she wanted. The crowd didn't really giggle much. It was kind of like silence after she delivered but it wasn't me, it was blah, blah, blah. And she kind of had like a Toni Storm vibe too, where she was delivering it very timelessly. I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. It wasn't the best, but it was good. You can tell she's still entertaining, but I'm glad she got the W following that, especially against Deonna Purrazzo, who, poor girl, she was like the Harley Cameron at one point. Now she can't win if I paid her to win. But yeah, she's good stuff. Sort of. I think, like you said, well delivered, well done. You can see her talent, just didn't like the execution. And it's okay to be like, why not start off being serious? And that's what she had. She had that, and then she should have been, that person was me. And this is why I'm going to go back and blah, blah, blah. Because she had the goofiness and then ended with, you just made it all goofy. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, doing the whole, like, that was my next door neighbor's dream. Like, it basically was saying, and I know she's probably kidding, but basically saying, this isn't my dream. I just took what somebody else wanted to do, and now I'm doing it. So it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of took me out of it.
I did like that she said her big dreams?
Yeah,
and she had very big dreams or something like that. I was like, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's talk about something.
I wasn't even paying attention to what I was like, did she say something? Is she talking right now?
You're gonna see her in person pretty soon, probably.
I know.
All right. Well, yes. Yeah. See, that's when you run. So my poor girl Brandy will just be by herself in the crowd after we both get escorted out. All right. Max Caster, man. I was talking about it before. about how bad I thought it was and about how much talent he has. And I get they're trying to make him a gimmicky character. I don't see where he goes if he's going to call people out and lose in a minute. I feel like the crowd's going to get bored of it. And I think they already did. Brody King, they didn't give two shits about. He came out, he got beat up, they left. And then as soon as he was pinned, he's like in the corner holding up his thing that says he's the greatest wrestler alive or whatever. And I'm like, you're not even hurt. You're not even, it's just, I don't know what we're doing with this. I really, really, really don't. They have him not rapping. They have him jobbing all the time. He's like currently, in my opinion, worse than Ricochet trying to be a heel. And I mean that. And I love Ricochet too, but I love Max Caster. This just isn't working. Do you think he can continue this character and have it work? Do you think there's a way that he can manipulate it to where maybe people will be encouraged by him losing? Because I think that's what they're trying to do, right? That he's just going to keep losing and keep losing and keep losing. But I think eventually if he's 6-7 losses in, he has to stop saying he's the greatest. It doesn't make how many excuses can he have to losing matches? Like, what's it going to be this week on Collision? I don't know. I'm not digging it at all. It's very disappointing because I was very much looking forward to him. And then him and Bowens. Why would Bowens going to do the open challenge too and beat him in a minute? Because then that
where is Bowens? We keep waiting for him to make his singles run, and maybe that's what this is leading to. Is he's going to do an open challenge, and then Bowens is going to respond, and that's when we get that match. But
that should have been him winning, and then losing to Bowens. That would have made sense.
I think there's one way for him to redeem himself, and it's probably not going to happen. But I think he takes 6 or 7 losses in a row, and he realizes that he can't do it on his own, and he pulls out that business card that MVP gave him, and he calls up the Hurt Syndicate and says, "Hey,
okay,
let me be a part of your crew. Let me help you guys out. Let me join you." And then he joins them and becomes a little bit more serious. They groom him. They teach him how to win. They teach him how to beat people up. They teach him how to fight, and he goes from there. And then he has that MVP talks for him, and then he kind of just has more of a serious side to him. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that's one way that he can redeem himself from this.
I like that. That can work if they get there. I think you have to get there though, because I feel like he's going to die out beforehand. You know what I mean? But if they can get there, I like that. Good idea. All right. But then he's got to do something. Let's get into Dynamite. Yeah. You ready? Dynamite was jam-packed as well. Another jam-packed show. And let's start it off. MJF, Hangman Page. MJF cut a promo. I'll let you break it down. He beat down Christopher Daniels beat himself down, and then Hangman Page won a match, and they're going to be wrestling at Revolution. What'd you think of everything? It was all like in a matter of the opening show, too. Four things happened, but yeah.
From where we were last week with this promo and this build to where we were this week was a huge step down. This whole, I didn't know how they were going to top last week, but whatever they did this episode just did not do it for me. So we opened up with MJF cutting a pre-recorded promo, and I wish they would just stop with these. Stop. They're not good. They're not good. I'm tired of seeing athletes at massage parlors. I'm tired of seeing people at, and he was at a tattoo parlor, it looked like, and he was getting the AEW tattoo removed on his leg, but they never really explained what he was doing. It was just kind of the whole thing was weird. He said that he's betting on himself now, and the only 3 letters he cares about are MJF. And then they showed his leg with no tattoo on it, I guess. And then, that made me think, oh, he's not going to be in the arena. He's not going to be in the building. So Hangman Page then goes and squashes somebody. And then there's MJF in the same suit he wore last week. And
burn.
He came out and he's speaking a bunch of gibberish and stuff. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm out here I'm really worried about your friend. And then they pan to Christopher Daniels, and he's blading himself on his forehead and on 3 or 4 times, and then blood's gushing down from his face, and Hangman Page chases out. This didn't do it for me. I love these guys. This is a huge feud and a huge opportunity for AEW if they get this feud right. They had it right. They had it going right there for a couple of weeks, and probably for the entire month of January and majority of the month of February. And now this episode, just this whole segment just took me out of it. And I really hope they can redeem themselves before Revolution next week.
Yeah, so do I. And it's you were 100% right. They have Dynamite, so hopefully, and either way, I'm invested in the match. But yeah, I don't know if he was blading or if he was squirting ketchup, because why would you blade yourself for a backstage set? Like, you don't have to really bleed. So I don't. But either way, AEW, man, like, he was sitting there for how long, and then MJF was gone for a while, then you cut to him, and that's not they do that a lot where they cut things. There was a part with which we'll talk about in the trios, but I'll just bring it up now, where Cope is holding Marina Shafir on her shoulders, and homeboy, God, why am I forgetting? Wheeler Yuta is supposed to kick her on accident, and they're showing Cope, and he's like, go. Yeah. He's telling him to go, and then they span away, and then he lets her go, and he gets kicked. I don't know if you missed it or not, but it was they showed him exactly when he was telling him to go. He's nodding to him to go, he's ready to do it. Guys, what are we doing here? Hope you didn't do that at WWE. I just feel like AEW is the king of because maybe the segment wouldn't have been as bad if they would have delivered it a little bit better. It's just the long pause in between MJF leaving to him removing his AEW tattoo, which was fake. We got to Google that. Was it fake? Because there's no way he would get it removed, go through all that pain. It's 7 or 10
or did he really get it removed?
Or
was that just is that makeup on the leg? I mean,
or they just did that. Yeah, but either way, it's just you're right though. It was all just bad timing, bad stuff. Hangman and MJF are better than this. Hopefully they get together and come up with a better idea moving into Revolution, because like I said, I'm already invested, but I would still like a little bit more oomph. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And with that oomph, we got another promo. Swerve and Nana came out. Ricochet walked out. In my opinion, a better promo than he's ever cut. He actually got booed. And then Nana begged Swerve Strickland to get his jacket back. What'd you think of all this? And are you excited? Oh, and sorry, winner gets a championship match. They are the number one contender at Revolution. They will fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? That's what I like. The match and the promo and everything was fine. It was, probably Ricochet's best promo that he's cut. Mm-hmm. He got heat. He came out with the Eagles coat or the Eagles hat on with the robe, and he made digs at the Chargers. He made digs at the Padres. So he did the whole local sports team thing, and that got him some good heat. But why does the winner of this match get a number one contendership match? What have they done? Swerve Strickland, love Swerve. He's fantastic. He's great. But he's lost. He lost to Hangman. He lost to Bryan Danielson. He lost to Hangman.
Lost to Ricochet.
He lost to Ricochet. He's done nothing but lose. Why does he get a rematch for the title? Why does he become number one contender? And the same thing with Ricochet. And then whoever they face, they're not winning. So why are we even doing this? That match did not need a stipulation. That match did not need any sort of reward. The match was fine the way it was. And I think it would have been better had they left the number one contendership stuff off.
100%, because if you're trying to build Ricochet, and he did cut his best promo, so if you're trying to get him momentum and he's finally getting it, it'll take away that momentum, him taking an L to Cope or Moxley in a couple of weeks, on a random episode of Dynamite. And Swerve, all he does is lose, so he finally beats Ricochet, which people expect him to beat, and then he goes and loses for a title shot. It's taking momentum away from both of these men, just like what happened to Powerhouse Hobbs. You can't just give people random title matches. The Nana thing, though, is intriguing. I mean, talking about give my thing back if you love me. My thing is, Ricochet did a better promo. Here's the thing. They were in Oceanside, which is where my dad did live. That's where he was at. It was Oceanside. It's 30 minutes away from San Diego. Awesome town. I didn't know they had a place there where they had an arena for wrestling, but obviously it was a small arena. But he brought out the Eagles hat. What the hell do people in Oceanside give two shits about the Philadelphia Eagles being champions? So number one, that was stupid. Once again, Ricochet, even cutting his best promo, that was his idea. It's people need to start writing for him. He needs to stop. And then after he was proud Eagles fan, he then said, and I'm going to wrestle you at L.A., the city of... Okay, so are you an Eagles fan in Philly, or are you now an Angels, a City of Angels, California fan? Make up your damn mind. You can't You were all over the effing place. And do you think people in San Diego hate people in LA? We're all Southern. It was just all a hot. It made no sense. Swerve was like, cool, City of Angels, awesome. Like,
Yeah,
it just.
I wonder,
he was drowning in it. He was drowning.
I wonder if he had the Eagles hat because the Eagles beat the Rams, and somehow, I don't know. Like, it would have made more sense for him to wear that in LA at Revolution, where you are in. But maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know. I don't understand.
But then he said, we're going to the Studio Angels. Like, that's like his jam. Like, so then he wasn't doing that, right? Like,
yeah, he was too good for the people in Oceanside. So
no. And then at least he was smart, though, because he did his laugh a couple times and he knew no one was going to react to it. So he like went fast. There was one where he was like, give me a, so yeah, you better, like, he didn't even like let them have silence. So at least he's like figuring out mic work. Like, yo, this isn't going over and I'm trying to get it over, but it's stupid. So let me get my thing in.
I think you would just stop by now, but
I would think so. Nobody likes it. I think what they're going for is like, once it gets annoying enough, people will start to like it, right? My famous comparison always and shit like that. If you watch The Simpsons, the best episode possibly ever was Sideshow Bob, where he steps on a rake. And so he hits a rake and you laugh. And then he steps on a rake and then you laugh. And then he steps on a rake and then you slowly stop laughing. Then he steps on a rake and you're like, over it. Then he steps on like 6 more rakes and you're literally like, what are we? This is so stupid. And then it's like the 30th rake that he steps on and you're cracking up even more than you were before. And then he steps on it a couple and you're just like laughing hysterically because I think that's what they're hoping for with these things. I heard Jericho talk about that too with like his list, not in that core like thing, but he was like, it didn't hit. He's like, I did it a few times and no one gave a shit. And then I forgot when he did it. It just clicked and someone liked it. So I think you just hope and hope. If you do it and do it and do it, it'll click. But at least, like I said before, because people are going to be like, you've been crapping on Ricochet. I have. But I've also said I hope for the best. And I'm hoping that going through this will build him better promos because he didn't have promo time in WWE or anywhere. So it's finally, maybe he's starting to finally click. It was a better promo. It still needs work, but at least I was like, you got a reaction. It was believable. So that's what we need. All right, triple threat time. The Undisputed Kingdom versus Daniel Garcia and FTR. That's the pairing we've all been waiting for. Daniel Garcia and FTR. What did you think about that? Let me hear it.
It was random as hell. First of all, Daniel Garcia just teamed with Cool Hand Luke and Angelo Parker and Daddy Magic against the
Death
Undisputed King. Yeah, against the Death Riders, rather. Yeah. And now FTR was feuding, was with Adam Copeland, and they were being taken out by the Death Riders not too long ago. But now they've like ditched Adam Copeland. Oh yeah, you got Jay White. You're good. You're by yourself. Oh, you got Willow. Okay, cool. You don't need us. We're gonna go with Daniel Garcia. I mean, these guys go from partner to partner to partner, and it just, I don't get it. Like, why is he with Daniel Garcia? Why is FTR with Daniel? Like, it makes no sense. It's a random pairing. They even were like, we have, well, what'd they say? FT Garcia or something like that?
Oh, did they try the name again?
Yeah, it's just so like rated FTR is cool. CMFTR was cool. But now it's like C or FT Garcia. Like, come on now. And now, and not only that, but he's the TNT champion. He took a pinfall loss to Adam Cole, in this match. Yeah. And and now Adam Cole gets a TNT title shot next week or this week on Collision.
Collision, not Dynamite. Collision.
Not at Revolution.
No,
not a poor Adam Cole, man. He doesn't get to have a match in LA. He gets to wrestle on Collision for the TNT Championship. At least it's on TNT.
It is, but I want to do the boom. That's like my favorite thing to do every time I go to an AEW event. I don't know if he still gets it as loud now, but yeah. And you forgot the point too that Adam Cole and Undisputed Kingdom saved Daniel Garcia from getting beat down, and then he challenges them to a fight. And yes, people are going to be like, "But they shook hands before they wrestled." I don't get stupid. What was the point of this match? To just get Daniel Garcia to Adam Cole, and Adam Cole didn't even like no. They announced it on the things, and Adam Cole was just like posing, like he was not like nobody was like, "Hey, Adam Cole, just so you know," like where was fine ass Renee Paquette to come out and be like, "Adam Cole, just so you know, since you pinned him, you got a title shot. How do you feel?" Like nothing. They just kind of like, and the funny part is Adam Cole's probably gonna beat him on a random episode of Collision. Like, what have we done to this title, man? It's like crazy.
I don't get it. Yeah,
it's crazy to think that Jungle Boy carried that shit. He was a better champion than anybody else has been recently. Yeah,
for sure. And it just this whole thing made no sense. Like just last week on Collision, it was the Undisputed Kingdom and Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic and
they were all friends. Yeah.
They were all friends, but they're like they're holding off the Death Riders from they're holding back John Moxley while Adam Copeland concertos Pac, and then he double concertos while they're like out there like holding Moxley back. Like they're preventing Moxley from getting in there. So you would think like the Death Riders would want some comeuppance against the these guys.
Kingdom.
And there was no mention of it. And then FTR is working with them. It just completely random, completely out of left field, and just not done well at all.
No, we got to do something with FTR. Like, what the hell? They were upset about the way they were treated in WWE. Like, they're just like a random tag team now. They don't fight for titles. They don't do anything. They just get paired up with random people. Whoever doesn't have somebody to pair up with. Weird shit. All right. Well, Mr. Cope himself wanted to take out all of the Death Riders. He took out some on Collision, as we talked about. And on Dynamite, he took out a few more, laid out Wheeler Yuta, concertoed Claudio Castagnoli, and because he's a really good babyface, he decided to concerto Marina Shafir because why not? That's what heroes do. They beat women with chairs. So as soon as he was about to do it and was not slowing himself down, as Jay White was holding Mox back with a chair, John Mox, the guy who bleeds for fun, I think he wakes up in the morning after hooking up with his wife and he just cuts his forehead open and goes to work. Like all of a sudden now he's afraid of a chair. Out comes Willow out of nowhere to be like, you know what? I feel like going to jail tonight. So she decided to commit the crime and concertoed Marina Shafir. So now it's Jay. Are they like a crew now? I don't know what's happening. Nonetheless, here's my thing for you. There's a lot of Cope right now. Just remember, 2 weeks ago, Cope was put to sleep. Put to sleep by Mox. Ever since then, he's done nothing but kick their ass. It's not really giving me high hope for your boy Cope to become the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, because usually the man who's constantly getting the comeuppance, are you liking this, or do you think this is just a method of destruction? What are you thinking with all this?
I don't hate it, but I don't know if I'd necessarily like it. I don't hate it in the sense that it's different than what the Death Riders have been doing, which is wash, rinse, repeat. Every single week, they're going to come out, beat somebody up, choke somebody out, show goes off the air. So in this case, it's different. So I don't necessarily hate it because it's different and they're telling a story, and Adam Copeland's pissed off to the point where he's going to take them all out so he gets a fair fight. And I like that he's following up on it and he's actually coming through with it. The only thing that I didn't like about it was Willow Nightingale. That whole thing just felt completely random. That was all out of the blue. And then, they opened up Dynamite with Adam Copeland coming out of an ambulance, being like, "Hey, Moxley and Death Riders, this is your ride for tonight." And you would think that they would have followed up by putting them, showing them, stretchering them into that ambulance. They
did get stretchered out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but they didn't show them going into. Like, I wish it would have been nice to show them getting into the actual ambulance, and maybe Adam Copeland beats them down some more. But also, like Jay White holding John Moxley back, like at least on Collision, it made sense that there were 6 people. The Undisputed Kingdom, and then Daddy Magic's group holding them, holding John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta and Claudio back while Pac got his ass kicked. But this time, it's just Jay White in a chair, and Wheeler Yuta is like. He's taken out, but I mean, he's not dead. He didn't get hit with a chair, so he could have easily gotten up. And then, these guys kick out of everything, so it wouldn't surprise me if he got up. And then, John Moxley's just not doing anything. He's in the audience, just not even trying to fight. That's what didn't make any sense to me, was the lack of fight from John Moxley.
Yeah, I fully agree. It was very, very bizarre, almost as bizarre as Cope trying to concerto a female. I don't get that. I would never think of a good guy and a hero being a guy who's going to hit a female with a chair. Please make it make sense. I don't care if you say, well, the story and that. Okay, well, the story is he's a hero. So even in stories, heroes don't beat women. So it just is. Even in action movies, when they're like fighting. They'll like even say like, I don't want to hit a girl. And then they'll start getting beat up and they try their best, like not to harm her, but they just prevent her. Like, you know what I mean? That's a movie. Like we don't just have like dudes who are good guys beating the crap out of females. Those are the bad guys. I didn't understand most of it. Once again, good ideas, poor execution from AEW. It's the key. But I am intrigued by the match. So I am intrigued to see what happens, who's coming out, and if Christian, who's been literally forgotten, is going to cash in, or is he going to wait?
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right. Well, that was our AEW week in review. A good week nonetheless. And we are going to get into our segment today, which is true or false. We got a song?
No song, but I've got.
I didn't think. Yeah.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Or
false.
All right. So we're going to ask each other a couple questions, AEW related, and we will say if it is true or false. Ryan, gentleman always goes first. Let's hear it.
Okay. I'll give you this one.
Give it to me.
So we'll go Hurt Syndicate for you. So recently released WWE wrestler Cedric Alexander will sign with AEW and join, or I guess rejoin, Bobby Lashley, MVP, in Shelton Benjamin in the Hurt Syndicate in AEW.
I'm going to go true. True for sure.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And not only just the fact that he should be wrestling, but the fact that they probably want him to, and they are all friends in real life, and might as well get the whole band back together, right? And stick it to Trips, who supposedly stole their idea and gave it to the Bloodline. So I think they would like to do that and see what they can do in AEW. Right now, it ain't sticking, but hopefully in the future it gets a little bit better. But yeah, I think
crowd team's into him. Sure. I mean,
they do. Yeah, well, it's Bobby Lashley, man. He's a star. Yeah. But yeah, but I'm just saying they're not doing much. They're just kind of walking out and looking intimidating. They're not really doing anything. So yeah. But I say true.
I think it's true too.
Oh, it's true. It's damn.
But I wish that spot was being given to somebody from AEW, whether it's Swerve, whether it's Max Caster. I don't think they need to bring him on and then add somebody else, and then you have too many people. So whether it's Swerve, Max Caster, Ricochet, somebody, I wish there was somebody going from already in AEW joining the Hurt Syndicate as opposed to bringing somebody from the outside in. But I think that is where they're going.
All right. I respect that. All right. You ready for my first one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ricochet will beat Swerve Strickland at Revolution with the help from Prince Nana.
Oh, man.
The Swerve is
it's true. It's damn true.
I think that's the direction they're going in. I like Swerve and Nana together. I like the Swerve when you drive. I like all that, but I feel like that's run its course. They've been kind of at odds lately with Nana feeling like Swerve's not focused. He's focusing too much on Ricochet. Or Ricochet is starting to come into his own. He could be a good voice for Ricochet. He could be a good talker and speak on his behalf. I think it makes sense. Let Swerve move on to something else and let Nana unite with Ricochet, who has his road, by the way. Maybe that was all a ruse.
I think it was one big trap. Yep, to have Ricochet beat him again. So I say true as well.
Just to lose to John Moxley.
Yep, just to get his ass kicked by the Death Riders. Yeah, that's why I don't get either. But yeah, I think Ricochet will win, and we'll be able to boo him at Revolution. All right, what's your last one, homie?
Okay, I'll take your question and raise you. Jay White will cost Adam Copeland the AEW World Championship and allowing John Moxley to retain at Revolution. So Jay White turns heel.
I didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't even think about that, but I'm going to say true.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Even though I don't know who Adam Copeland is, I am intrigued.
Sorry, Rated R Superstar Cope.
Thank you, sir. Say it right or pay the price. You're not the announcers on AEW. You don't get to say it wrong.
Rated R legend. Cope.
Oh my God. I think so. I think that makes sense because I don't know if Cope's gonna wait. Like we were saying, you can't dominate every day until you get to the match and then just beat Mox. That's not gonna make any sense. I think they want to keep it going. I don't see Ricochet versus Cope being intriguing, or Swerve versus Cope. Yeah, so and that's also if we don't play in Christian. But yeah, I'm gonna say that's a pretty good idea. I like it. I could see that happening now. Once you is there gonna be a double swerve at Revolution though? That'd be pretty heavy. But maybe one of
Yeah.
them happens, one of them don't. But yeah, who knows? But yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
true. Good call.
Yeah, I'm going to say true too. I think that it should happen. I think Jay White's been kind of lost in this whole thing, and he's been kind of the sidekick. And he doesn't want to be anybody's sidekick. So there's a story they could tell with it.
All right, last one. You ready?
Yes, sir. Bring it on.
If Cope, the old Adam Copeland and the old Edge, wins the AEW. God, I just want to make sure you know who I'm talking about. Married to Beth Phoenix. Cope wins the AEW Real title. It will actually help and boost his already Hall of Fame legacy.
False.
I don't think he needs I think he's already. I mean, he's already an established. They're not going to take him out of the Hall of Fame. They're not going to.
No.
It's not going to hurt him. And I think actually him going in there and losing and not winning the title is better for his legacy than him coming in at 55 years old or however old he is and disrupting everything that they have and winning the world title out of the blue. I mean, he got hurt. He beat Malachi Black in October last year at Wrestle Dream, I think it was, and then broke his leg, and then he came back, and he's automatically in the title picture in January, and now the first pay-per-view of the year, like it wouldn't be a good look if he came in and did that, and I think it would actually help his legacy by putting Jon Moxley over and refusing to win the title. Apparently, it was in this. There's a rumor going around that it was in his contract in WWE when he came back that he never wanted to win the title. So when he wrestled Roman Reigns, he never wanted to win the belt. It was like in his contract that he will not win the world title. And maybe it's in his contract in AEW too.
Wait, so his booking? I thought he left due to his booking. I thought it was because he didn't win the world title because they booked him in a non-championship manner, and they weren't. Is it because he was part-time? Is that?
It was because Triple H wanted him to be part-time, and he thought that he had a lot more to offer than part-time status. They wanted him to be a special attraction, like SummerSlam, WrestleMania. He felt that he could do more, and then Triple H was like, "Well, I don't have anything for you on a regular basis," and so But apparently, it was in his contract. Like when he won the Royal Rumble, he was always going to lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. When he when he wrestled Austin Theory, he was supposed to lose for the U.S. title. So maybe it's in his contract in AEW too. It's just there to put over people.
Except for Finn Balor. All right, let's get into that. Was
but that wasn't for the title. So
it wasn't. It was for pride and dignity. I'm gonna say false as well. I was just wondering because I know a lot of AEW hardcores are probably like, him being an AEW World Champion would cement that legacy even more because it is such a prestigious title and because Edge has never, or Cope has never won, I think, a title outside of WWE, correct? He
had the TNT title for a while. Yeah. He had the TNT title.
Oh, he did, but not like the world title. But he did have a TNT championship, perhaps second. That's right. But I meant like a world champion. Yeah, he did win one. So, all right. Touche. I don't think he needs it, but I do think he'll win it eventually. I just have a feeling. I have a like Daniel Bryan. All right, let's get into our weekly segment, our favorite weekly segment, and that is LVD MBD, our least valuable, most valuable dude or dudettes for the week of AEW. Once again, it doesn't mean we love these people or hate these people. We just think they were booked the best or most poorly in this week of AEW. Ryan, who is your LVD?
I'm going to shock you with this one, but I'm going to go with Tony Khan.
Whoa.
Yeah. From the last couple of weeks of Dynamite have been awesome. The last couple of episodes of Collision have been awesome. But there was something missing in this episode, and there was just a lot of things that were kind of bass-ackwards, if you will. From the blading of Christopher Daniels to the International Championship Series not making a lick of sense because Takeshita retained his title and he gets to wrestle Kenny Omega when it should have been the other way around. To this, we didn't talk about this, but Chris Jericho willingly working with the Don Callis family, despite them feuding just a few months ago when Chris Jericho was like a babyface against Will Ospreay and everybody. And then not having Toni Storm, not having Mariah May, and not having Kenny Omega on this episode of Dynamite, it was, and then him getting sued by Ryan Nemeth, and and everything. Yeah, this episode of Dynamite was just, and Collision too, was just kind of meh. And I feel like AEW has been cooking lately, and it was just a lot of like, and you pointed out the mistake with Adam Copeland calling his spot with Wheeler Yuta, the blading stuff, like that's all stuff that can be fixed. And I feel like ultimately that all falls on Tony Khan.
I agree. It could be it's very preventable, 100%.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. I don't disagree. Yeah, I forgot. And we didn't talk about it, but in that main event between Takeshita and Orange Cassidy, they were saying the whole time, like, oh, whoever wins, they're going to win, and they're going to face off against Kenny Omega at Revolution. I'm like, why are they trying? Whoever wins is the champion. What do they care about?
Why is it? Yeah.
They're trying to earn a chance to defend against the one and only Kenny Omega. Just really
And then you don't
weird.
bring Kenny Omega out to stare him down?
No, at all. Like,
nothing.
At all.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
No, you got to earn that shit too, brother. Yeah, not going to work for me, brother.
No.
All right. I'm going a different route. Hold on. I have to. Excuse me. I didn't have time to mute it. My LVD of the week is none other than your dancing king, Daniel Garcia.
That's a good one. That's a good pick. Yeah.
This man took a L in a trios match on Collision, took a L in a trios match on Dynamite, and then found out he's going to take an L on Collision and lose his title to one Adam Cole, baby. This man is having a week. He's re-signed with AEW, probably went out and bought his girl a Lambo, bought his mom a Porsche, got a big old house in Brooklyn or wherever he's from, wherever the heck he's from. And now he is about to just move on down to the AEW Wardlow universe where he'll be never seen again, because that's what we do with Daniel Garcia over and over and over again. There's one thing Tony Khan hates. It's talented professional wrestlers. So sorry, Daniel Garcia. You're my LVD of the week.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. And the fact that not only did he take an L, he got pinned.
With FTR in there.
Yeah, FTR. Yeah.
Did he take them both? I think he did.
I think he took them in both matches, which was just crazy to me. So that's a good pick. I mean, I've never been a fan of champions taking losses in non-title matches. It doesn't help their reign, doesn't help elevate their titles.
No, at all. All right, let's end on a high note. Who is your MVD of the week?
I'm going Mariah May. I love that promo she gave on Collision. If there's anything she does well, it's those unhinged promos, and she's just completely lost it. I mean, she's playing the role now of Toni Storm when Toni Storm lost that title before she became timeless, where she was like, had her hair down. She was coming out in the white button-down shirts and everything like that. And it was great. And her attacking Toni Storm while Toni Storm's trying to walk to the ring. I like the little bait and switch that AEW gave us when they're like, oh, we're going to hear from Toni Storm tonight on AEW Collision. And then Mariah May completely takes her out and brings her out to the ring and holds her and says she's going to write her name in blood, and we're going to have the Hollywood ending that we've always wanted. And it was just fantastic stuff. Mariah May is a star. Even if she doesn't win this belt back at Revolution, she needs to be pushed to the moon. And like you said, be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné. If not her, then Harley Cameron. But put her in the ring with Mercedes at All In Texas. She's been calling Mercedes out on commentary and stuff because Tony Khan favors her over everybody else. So make that a story and push Mariah May to the moon.
I fully agree. Well said. Good pick, too. I'm going to pick a pick that's going to surprise you, and I'm going with Cope, believe it or not.
Yep, that's a good pick. He was my runner-up.
He had a winning week, man. He's taking out the Death Riders basically single-handedly. I mean, he's having people back him up to protect, but he's beating these people up. And even though he made the slight incorrect decision of wanting to have domestic violence in the middle of an AEW ring, he did dominate and do everything he said. And he is looking with everyone mocks his wrestle since he's been the champion. Nobody has even come close to looking this vicious towards him, getting the comeuppance. He's frustrating Mox. You can just tell that this old man is getting under his skin. It's been great television, good things. It's got me excited for this match even more than it was before. I'm loving it. How can you not pick this man? I mean, he's just doing his damn thing this week in AEW, and he's probably going to take an L next week, I'm assuming, before we get into Revolution, but we'll see. But yeah, as of now, he is the MVD for me of the week.
Yeah, that's a That's a good pick. And like I said, he was my runner-up for MVD. I mean, he had himself a week. He took out 3 people essentially, all by himself. He's hunting. He's doing what Drew McIntyre was supposed to be doing with the Bloodline, and he's actually following through on it. So I'm digging it. I'm digging what they're doing with Cope, and I'm excited about this match, and I'm excited to see him wrestle in person for the first time in my entire life. I've never seen Edge wrestle, and I get to do it now. I'm excited. Actually, we saw him at WrestleMania.
I was about to correct you
against Finn Balor, but that was
It was so disappointing. You wiped it out, and you can't see it. It's like in a cage. I hate cage matches. Hell in the
We're gonna get one at Revolution, so
which is fun, but you can't see. But once again, I don't care about who's in that one. I can give 2 shits. So I'm more excited about this one. All right, that's our weekend review in AEW. Like we said, the 2 dudes are going to be in Cali watching AEW Revolution live. We're gonna TikTok about it, make all things about it. Be on the lookout. It's gonna be popping, man, on and popping. And with that said, subscribe, like, follow, everything. Always make your 2 dudes the 2 biggest dudes in all of the world of professional wrestling podcasting. You can catch me at all social media at my_wrestling_opinion on everything. I post nonstop. Get me to 10K, y'all. And with me as always is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling on all social media platforms. Go follow me there. Go follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, 2 Dudes with Attitudes, where we're starting to get more and more views now. We're starting to get more likes. So we appreciate everyone pushing our stuff out. And go follow us on X at 2 Dudes PC. And then, if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate all the love and support. Go out there, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and tell everybody about your favorite 2 dudes on the internet.
Yes, sir. 2 Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes. Let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're riding Denton. They here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, it's on time to